Uh, you misheard. I'm a paranormal instigator. I'm here to cause hauntings.
Follow the comment back to a fun video I made, but is important for reference to this. One of my side jobs is a paranormal investigator slash a peller. Not always in the sense of, someone who expels spirits, but someone who deals with them. Here's some advice along that route. Ultimately, if you're thinking about going into it, go into it for fun, because it is a rough barrier to entry as a financial thing. Both in the sense of a lot of equipment tends to be expensive, and people don't necessarily want to pay for that kind of service. People can and will, but if you actually take in all of the equipment usages, in my case, all of our magical equipment that needs to be rebought. In some cases, the magical equipment that needs to be bought for this overly specific thing I'm doing. It can easily be, even at the entry level, over $100. So a lot of people, it's going to be either a haggle or an arrangement. A lot of people just want the spirit gone, even in cases where the spirit doesn't seem to be doing anything negative. And other similar situations where you're just going to have to figure out your morals on all that. I personally won't banish something without good reason, but usually I'll try to sate it first, and a lot of the times that works well enough. You're also going to find a lot of spiritual hypochondriacs. By that I mean is that they're under the impression that absolutely anything negative happening is a spiritual or supernatural occurrence, and there's just no evidence of that in the house, either through using your tools for paranormal investigation or divination or any such thing. But they're going to be really adamant about it, calling you back every few months for a new spiritual problem. And I'm certainly not saying to take advantage of these people, but you can do something, like a pretty normal house blessing, stuff like that, and they'll be fine for a good bit. Adjust cost appropriately for stuff like that, of course. Every so often you're going to find something that you can find evidence of, but for whatever reason, none of your banishments work, none of your research holds fruit, and you either need to get another specialist to either talk about what to do or just hand over the case to them. Get billed for your time and whatnot, but again, adjust cost. You're also going to find that people, for whatever reason, will hire you for it, then decide that none of this is real. Stuff like that is why I have a policy of a little bit up front, and just, if they do that, I just leave. There's also going to be people who, will try to not pay you after the service is done. Spirit legitimately needs to go. You are able to banish the spirit. They suddenly don't want to pay, and you kind of get a hint of why they needed your help in the first place. In those cases, I still basically just leave, but I reopen any doors I closed. There's not a lot of legal protections for this kind of service in a lot of ways. Many courts will automatically see it as a scam of some kind, and even if there is a contract, effectively it'll be void because you're considered a fraud legally. Now, this isn't always the case if you want to take something like this to court, but it's enough to be annoying. Especially because of your financial and time investment. Taking on any case and something financially going wrong can be financially debilitating, especially at first. There's a good chance you may never be able to pay your bills with paranormal investigating or magical supernatural services. So if you're solely dedicated to be a magical version of the show Ghost Hunters, you definitely need the financial backing of either, someone independently wealthy or someone thinks this will make good television. Especially when your own name isn't really out there in the various communities that would appreciate such things. Word of mouth of such services are going to be really important. very few people are looking at ads in the newspaper for this sort of thing anymore. So, yeah, putting advertisement space anywhere, whether it's through traditional ads or anything online, it's going to be expensive and a bit of a long shot. You should also become at least vaguely familiar with the dominant cultures in your area and the specific way they do any form of banishment, or, sating the spirit, or otherwise, doing what you need to do. Because your tradition of things isn't going to work for everything. I learned this when I had a client who recently moved into a place and, was haunted. Found out that what was haunting the place was a very particular Asian spirit. I forget the exact name and ramifications of everything at the moment, but the experience was memorable. Found out that the people who lived in there before was an Asian family going through a divorce, and one party sent something after the other. The previous tenant was very helpful in giving me what information they could. I did some research, talked to a few people. It kind of worked out, but wow. Yeah, there's a lot of situations to set your expectations for. Sorry, this is technically a long video for TikTok, but thank you all for watching.